Hello investors and traders, and welcome to the Midweek Report. I'm AJ Monte, and this is a one-year daily candle chart of the Dow Jones Industrial Average ETF, ticker symbol DIA. We're coming into the final minutes of the trading day today on this Wednesday, November 13th. This Friday is options expiration Friday, so I think we're going to see some volatility creeping into the market over the next couple of days. As you can see here, the Dow is still sliding. Look at the intraday chart. I'm looking at the 5-minute chart here. You can see that we're pressing this support level right here, and it looks like the volume is starting to increase towards the end of the day. As you can see, I left my lines on the chart from last Friday. My downside target on DIA is 433.72. Looking at IWM, as we're coming into the final 2 minutes now, you can see that IWM is very close to hitting my downside target right there. This index is also pressing the lows. You can see that there's hardly any shadow at the bottom of that candle, which tells us that the sellers are still in force. And look down below, we got a sell signal on the CCI and a full-fledged pivot point right there on the stochastic. So again, downside target still in place, 432.67. Moving right along to the Qs, we have the pivot absolutely forming right here. Yesterday, downside target on the Qs is 502.17. We have an open gap below the market. We have another gap below the market here. This horizontal line represents the role reversal. I often talk about that, where resistance, once broken, generally turns to support. And a lot of times we see the markets pulling back to that support before they decide whether or not to pivot up from that support level. So again, downside target 502.17. Moving right along to SPY, you can see same thing as what we just saw in the Qs. We had the pivot yesterday. We had an increase in volume on the way down yesterday as well, telling us that the sellers are starting to move into the market. We have a sell signal on the CCI forming today. Downside target on SPY is 587.54. Before we get into the analysis of the VIX, I want to make a special announcement towards the end of this video, so stay tuned. We have exciting things coming out on the quick chart service that we're offering through Zero Hedge, so stay tuned for that. We're down to about 5 seconds here. 4, 3, 2, 1, and there is the closing bell again for this Wednesday, November 13th. Looking at the VIX, very interesting. As the S&P is dropping, we still see a red candle right there on the VIX. Isn't that interesting? Now, when you see that happen, when the VIX is down with the general market, most of the time, I say most of the time, not all of the time, but most of the time when that happens, we generally see a rally in the VIX in the days that follow. So I still have my upside target on the VIX at $20.20, which is my guaranteed gap fill point, but I also have a higher target on the VIX right there at $26.68. Look down below, we have a buy signal right there on the CCI and a hinge right there on the stochastic, with the stochastic reading the second lowest reading of the year. So that's very interesting. We generally see the VIX pop when that happens, when the VIX is oversold on the stochastic and the CCI, with the CCI coming out of the lowest readings that we've had there in a very long time. I think that upside is very likely to see us fill that gap. Now, taking one step back on the 10-year weekly chart of the VIX, I want to show you something. I'm going down here. I'm taking a horizontal line right there, and I'm drawing it straight across at the lowest readings on the CCI for the 10-year period. And if you zoom in here, you'll see that we are now down below the average of the lowest readings on the CCI. Now, that's a weekly chart going back 10 years. What does that mean? Well, the VIX is oversold, no doubt, giving us more evidence that the VIX is most likely to rally from here. Now, here's the big news. You may have caught it already on Zero Hedge, where now every Tuesday I will be putting out a very short video that is more or less a quick chart report. I'm going to be highlighting a popular stock that looks like it's about to pivot. It could be an upside pivot, a downside pivot, it doesn't matter. We will be highlighting that on Tuesday. And if you're interested in trade along with that technical signal, then I would strongly suggest you follow us on YouTube. All you have to do is go to Sticky Trades right there. It's StickyTrades.com, or you can go to the YouTube page, search for Sticky Trades, and click on the notification bell. Once you do that, you will be notified when that video is about to hit the public release. Now, there it is right there. The quick chart went out yesterday. And what did we put out for the quick chart? Well, it was a pivot on Tesla. You have to understand that, remember, that was highlighting this candle right at the high. So I found that on Monday. We published it on Tuesday. You can obviously see that Tesla is starting to pull back in this pivot point. And now members, our option traders, are in this one on a directional trade. Can't give you the exact details of what strike price or what options they were getting into, because obviously that's a service they pay for. But you on YouTube have a lot of value here, and we are doing our very best to prove to you the value that we provide to the public in our analysis and our education. So our channel is growing thanks to all of you with liking and commenting and subscribing. If it weren't for you sharing those web pages, we would not be growing this channel, and it is growing very, very nicely. So thank you for that. Have a great rest of the week. I'll talk to you on Friday on the weekly market report. So long.